In this video, we'll go over the basic setup and breakdown of the Rultract retractor system. First, take the 4110 table clamp from the tray. The patented shape of the jaw allows the clamp to attach to different size rails with or without a drape. The clamp has a handle assembly which is used to tighten or close the jaws and to loosen or open the jaws. Turn the handle clockwise to tighten the jaws. Turn the handle counterclockwise to loosen the jaws. Most operating tables have rail mounting bolts or spacers, which are used to attach the rail to the table. The Rultract clamp jaws have a centrally located notch which is designed to go around the bolts. Before attaching the Rultract clamp to the table, reach under the rail and determine the location of the bolts. Once you've done this, you can place your Rultract clamp either between the bolts like this or over a bolt. Placing it between the bolts or around a bolt will provide a very secure fit when attaching the clamp to the OR table. You do not want the clamp jaw to hit one of the bolts. If it hits a bolt, it will not tighten securely and will be loose and wobble on the table. It can even wobble enough to move on the table, and you will need to reposition the clamp. Attach the clamp approximately 2 inches below the patient's axilla on the side to be dissected. Clamp position may change or be adjusted according to the age and size of the patient or the physician's technique or preference. Before attaching the Rultract clamp to the OR table rail, open the jaws wide enough to easily place the clamp onto the rail. Check for possible obstruction. Check for free movement of the jaws by squeezing them together and then releasing before attaching the clamp to the rail. Be sure that your clamp is going around a bolt or is in between bolts. Hold the clamp by the upper and lower jaws and slightly tilt the upper jaw inward toward the table. Then pivot the lower jaw inward toward the table. Both jaws should be in line with the table rail. Squeeze the jaws together on the rail. While holding the jaws closed, securely tighten with the handle, turning it clockwise. Be sure to give yourself enough room so that your glove does not get stuck between the clamp and the handle. Do not force the jaws closed with the handle. Squeeze them closed, then tighten the handle. Once the clamp is attached, attach the bottom post as seen here by inserting the square base into the clamp, then tighten, turning clockwise to ensure a secure fit. Be sure to position the bottom post with the bend away from the side of the table. If it bends in the other direction, it will not have enough room for the patient's shoulder. When attached properly, the clamp and post should have no movement. If the clamp has movement, check for possible obstruction and reattach. Once the post clamp has been securely fastened to the table, hold the top post vertically with the top perpendicular to the OR table. Place the sleeved end of the top post over the spline tip of the bottom post. Slide downward until the splines connect. A slight rotation of the top post may be needed to achieve proper seating. The spline post system angles at 18-degree increments over the OR table. To change position of the top post, grasp the sleeve and the square top end near the bend. Lifting upward approximately 1 inch will disengage the spline connections and allow the top post to angle in either direction. To reconnect the spline sections, lower the top post until it stops. When the top post is properly seated, it will not rotate. Attach the Rultract extender bar to the top post by sliding the hub of the extender bar over the tip of the top post. Push it all the way on until it stops. You will see a detent from the top post through this hole. Tighten the lock knob all the way down securely into a detent. Attach the Rultract ratchet assembly. There are 2 very important points to note regarding the ratchet assembly. First, be sure that the pin is inserted into this groove. Also be sure that the handle is inserted all the way into the gearbox. If the unit has not been properly assembled, what you might see is the pin sitting outside the groove. This can cause the unit to come apart. This can be fixed in the field by holding the unit securely by the back of the handle with your hand securely around the gearbox. Don't remove the lock knob all the way. Just loosen it enough to where you can slide this cover back and insert the pin back into the groove. While holding everything together, hand tighten the knob securely. Attach the ratchet assembly to the extender bar. Open the lock knob by turning it all the way until it stops. Place the ratchet assembly with the spool cap and cable hanging out over the patient's chest. Slide and secure the gearbox onto the extender bar to the desired location between alignment marks and over a detent for proper tightening. The spool cap must never be attached in this manner with the crank handle above the extender bar. The gearbox will not function properly. Attach the rake plate assembly to the snap clip. The hooks of the rake plate assembly are very sharp, so handle them carefully. Once the Rultract ratchet assembly is in place, you can lower the cable down to the patient's chest until the cable is completely unwound. When you are ready to remove the Rultract hook from the chest, you will need to release or reverse the ratchet. To do so, firmly grasp the crank handle and turn it slightly in the direction it will move when it is under tension. Do not let go of the crank handle. Simultaneously, shift the ratchet lever completely in the opposite direction. Once you shift the ratchet lever, slowly lower the cable and the rake plate assembly while holding the snap clip. To remove the Rultract system from the OR table, carefully re-spool the cable with the rake plate assembly attached. Remove the rake plate assembly from the snap clip. Remove the gearbox from the extender bar. Loosen the lock knob all the way by turning counterclockwise. Hold the gearbox securely and slide it off of the extender bar. To remove the extender bar, loosen the lock knob and slide the extender bar off of the top post. Next, grasp the sleeve and squared section of the top post. Lift it up off of the bottom post. Remove the bottom post by loosening the handle counterclockwise all the way and lift the bottom post out of the square opening of the table clamp. Squeeze and hold the jaws of the clamp together, turn counterclockwise to loosen the knob all the way. Once the clamp is loose, wiggle it on the rail and the jaws will open. Then remove the clamp from the table. This is the proper method to assemble and disassemble the Rultract ratchet retractor. Thanks for watching.